hurts. It hurts. What's up, my people? It's your single player hero, and I just got back from the theaters from watching the new Demon Slayer movie, Demon Slayer Mugen Train. And all right, in all seriousness, though, I'm gonna try to just give my thoughts on the movie, what I thought about it. Um, if you could, before I get started, do me a big favor and give the video a like and possibly subscribe, maybe if you like my stuff. You want to see some more stuff from me. I also do some gaming videos. I like to talk about movies, anime, TV shows, all that good stuff. So yeah, if you don't mind, it would be a really big help. Non-spoiler. Yeah, I think we could do a non-spoiler before jumping right into the spoiler stuff. It was great. It was fantastic. It was so good that my concern now is how is anything in the anime going to follow that up? And I mean, as far as like the big moments, right? That will happen with the story of Demon Slayer. How, like, my concern now, imagine like how good this movie had to have been in order for me to be worried about the future of the anime, right? Um, because it's just mind-boggling to me how anything on the in the anime scale will be able to live up to what they did in the movie, because they went all out on that. And I mean in terms of effects, animation, music. It was they went all out. There's no other way to put it. And unless they're going to get like start putting the same kind of budget that they had for the movie into the rest of the anime following up, it's pretty hard to think how anything else will be able to stack up. But who knows? Maybe they do just that. Maybe they start putting in uh, as much money into to the anime from this point forward as was put into the movie. I don't know if that would work out for them financially. I'm also thinking if they maybe decide to make any other future parts of the Demon Slayer story into a movie as opposed to part of the anime. I'm not even sure what that could possibly be. I think it's safe to say that Demon Slayer it's relatively short. I'd like to say. I mean, we got this movie, which was followed the canon storyline. We have the next season that will be starting in. Let me check because I forgot. Season 2 is slated to come out later this year, which is kind of nuts, but it's kind of awesome at the same time. So with with season 2, basically from that point on, I want to say there are one, two. I think there's only like three more arcs, really. Um, Maybe there's a fourth that I'm forgetting about, but it's not much either way. So I don't exactly know what else they could make a movie unless they decide to make like the finale a movie. Although I'm not even sure if that would serve itself to that. I guess technically they could make the the part after whatever they're going to show in season 2. I mean, my thinking is that season 2 was going to cover um like a single arc, because that arc does go on for quite some time. It's personally it's my favorite arc from the entire story. Did I say no spoilers? Would this be considered spoilers? I don't think so, right? Hopefully not. Assuming that the next season does just cover that one arc that's next, they could possibly do the next arc as another movie. Mm, yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's all speculation, right? If anything, I just wanted to bring this up because it serves as a telling point, right? As far as how good this movie is, that it's making me worried about the rest of the story being able to live up to it. Um, and maybe it doesn't. Who knows? Maybe this is the best and like the come out of Demon Slayer, and for it to hit where it hits its peak. Um, I hope not, because like I said, there are. I mean, the arc that comes next that they're uh, presumably going to cover in season two. I felt that I liked that arc more than the Mugen Train arc, actually. Um, but then again, that could change with the anime adaptation, right? That's one of the things that, and I'll bring this up later in spoilers. Um, but yeah, that's one of the things as far as my reaction to this arc when I read it compared to when I saw it in the movie. There were some differences, and they're good differences. I'll say just that for now, avoiding spoilers. So yeah, it was good. It was beyond good, right? The story was it was a faithful adaptation. It was from what I remember pretty much spot on, and I read the manga like 2 years ago. Was it last year? I think I like started in late 2019 and finished like at the start of 2020. Um, but yeah, anyway, it's been a while. Point being, so I'm pretty sure it hit like all the main points, right? From what I can remember, I'll go into more detail as far as specific scenes in a moment, and once we get into spoilers. Here's what I can say without spoilers: that when I read this part of the when I read this part of the story in the manga, it went by quick, I felt, right? And because of that, I felt like it didn't make so much of an impact on me, right? Um, and granted, it even goes by quick here itself, right? I mean, just considering the fact alone that like they were able to make it a movie, right? As opposed to like making it part of the anime. Although, really, if you think about it, they would have done the same thing, really, just splitting it up into episodes, right? Instead of having a almost 2 hour long movie, it would have been what? It would have been like 6 episodes of the anime, right? 6 or 7. So it's not long either way, right? But the advantage that the anime has over reading the manga made the world of difference, right? Because since it is like such a relatively short part of the story, when you're reading it, you kind of just go through it like this, and then you're like into the next thing right away, right? And the story like just continues, keeps on chugging, right? Whereas with the anime, it was able to make much more of an emotional impact with the music, with the combination of the music, the animation, the expression of the characters, right? All of these things combined just made it possible to deliver that point and deliver like the feelings and the message that it was supposed to relay that much stronger, right? That much more potently. So as far as this particular arc, I will say that I prefer the anime over the manga. We'll see what they do with future arcs and storylines down the line. But yeah, it made a world of difference. And once we start getting to spoilers, I'll get into more detail as far as how it applies specifically. Yeah, man, it's tough. I mean, I can only keep giving it praise, really. It's tough to find any points, anything to like point out against it, to tell the truth. I think if I have one gripe or something that could just like pull out, um, is the fact that you know, combining the 3D effects with the 2D animation sometimes is a little funky. Um, but if anything, Demon Slayer, I mean, with the first season, they did a phenomenal. I find like the parts where like there's 3D animation, um, great in the first season. For the movie, I'm not sure if it's because it's on a bigger screen, so it's like you see more of it, or what exactly, or maybe it was the actual like effects and the way they decided to do some of the 3D stuff this time around. But I guess I can definitely see some people saying that it does look a bit jarring or a bit weird at times, depending. Um, but it's for me, it's a very minor gripe. Nothing that really like takes me out of it or like or makes me think that like, oh, this is trash, right? Um, But I could definitely see like people bringing up that point as far as the 3D mixed with the 2D, which is always a little weird, but for the most part, I'd say they did a great job with it. The music, man, the music was wow, it was outstanding, man. And it's just one of those things that I mentioned earlier that just helped deliver that message, right? Deliver the, the emotions that they would want the audience to feel, and the music just aided in that so much more easily, right? And that's that. Yeah, that's all I can say, really, non-spoiler wise. I loved it, right? Safe to say. As a if you're a Demon Slayer fan, definitely go watch it if you have the opportunity to do so. I know unfortunately it's not showing everywhere. I'm glad that I got the chance to see it myself. Yeah, but yeah, if you do have the opportunity to do so, you definitely owe it to yourself as a Demon Slayer fan to go watch it. If you're not a Demon Slayer fan, you may find it a little, yeah, as far as like the story stuff, right? You might be a little out of the loop there, but if anything else, you can always look on to the sort of the spectacle of it all, right? The animation and the fights, man, the fights. Oh my god, so good, so good. Yeah, overall, yeah, anyone who's a fan of anime in general should enjoy it as well. So 10 out of 10. All right, spoilers. So yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, you don't want to get spoiled, get out now. What I was specifically referring to when I said that it made a much stronger impact watching it as opposed to just reading it in the manga is specifically Rengoku's death. For me, when I read it, it was definitely it was upsetting, right? Um, but it did not impact me nowhere, nowhere along the same lines on as it did watching it. It was just a whole another level, man. Because the thing is with the manga, I mean, like I said, it's relatively short. It doesn't last long, and the thing is, we just met Rengoku like the arc before, right? The Hashira meeting arc. Um, so it's not much of a time. We don't spend a lot of time with the character, right? We just meet him in this arc, right? We don't get a whole lot of information about him really. He's just there, basically, right? He exists. And then it's not until this arc, right, the Mugen Train arc, where we actually get to learn about his backstory and get to know more about him. And then before you know it, he's gone at the end of it, right? So it's like, bro, that sucks. Whereas with the movie, it was like I said, it's still short, right? Because it's a movie. It's relatively, in relative terms, it's not a whole lot of time with the character. But it's the combination of the voice acting, right? The delivering the lines, the voice acting delivering the lines, the music, the animation. It's just all these things combined to give the character life, to give the character so much more life than you could ever give it with just words on a page, right? Um, and images, of course. Um, but it just with the movie, it just takes it to a whole nother level, and it makes it makes it a lot easier to make that connection with the character and actually feel for his death at the end of the film, right? I swear, man. And you know what? I wasn't even gonna. I will say when I read a shared emotion that an emotion that I shared both when I read it compared to when I saw it in the theater was that of kind of like rage, like upset, more so of the fact of the for the fact that the demon that he fought against, I can't remember, I don't remember his name. Akuza, was it Akuza? When he fought against him, that um was I was really upset just because of the like, kind of just like the unfairness of it all, right? And just the fact that he was um Rengoku was so close, man. It was just like a moment. It was just like a moment, like a second away from him, like just being there and the sunlight coming out and getting him, and it was just so upsetting, man. And if anything, when I watched the movie, it was even more rage inducing, I guess, right? Just seeing that in action, and like the cowardice of the demon as he was running when the sun was coming out. And I just remember when I read that, it was just, it was so upsetting and got me so mad, just like, and yeah, watching it was the same thing. Very, yeah, just got, it got pissed off. And although it was sad, of course, the death of Rengoku, when reading it in the manga, it had hit nowhere as near as how hard it hit when I saw the movie, man. It was, and I don't know, it was kind of, I'm not sure if kind of knowing what was going to happen made it worse. I'm kind of like thinking what the experience must have been like for people who are anime only watchers and haven't read the manga. I can only imagine that must have been like a complete shock, right? Um, but I don't know, even knowing what was gonna happen was kind of horrible, man. Because like as soon as the whole like train part of it stop ended, right? And you realize that there's still like a good like 30 minutes or more of the movie left. And from that moment on, I was just like, I was just dreading it. Like I was just, damn it, fuck. Like what's about to happen next is like, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be nice. So I don't know if that kind of like that dread, that kind of foreseeing those events to come, if they made things worse. Not only that, but the music was very smart upon this point also, right? Because as soon as they were done with the train, the dream demon, and they defeated the train, and you start hearing like these kind of like heartbeats with the bass in the background, and it's just boom, boom, kind of like I guess like a like in if we want to like draw a correlation to like Jurassic Park, kind of with like the T-Rex, kind of making his like his steps towards the characters, right? Kind of like the foreshadowing of like danger to come, and you just get these like boom, boom, and I'm just there and I'm like feeling. And the thing is, it's so good. That's why it's so good to see it in the movie theater too, because you feel that so much more. You feel the vibration of the bass, right? Every time it does that boom, boom, and it just added even more to like like the dread of it all, right? Knowing that like this asshole was about to come out and just cause problems. Woo! Oh man, it was crazy, man. And that's what I mean. That's like that's the type of stuff that I mean when I say that the movie was able to make such a stronger emotional impact, because it got to make use of like the music and um, the music and the characters speaking, and it makes they properly utilized it, right? They could have very easily just shown what happened, and it is what it is, right? And I think it's safe to say that it could have made, you know, I could have had the same emotional impact seeing it as when I read it, right? Which was basically, not much, right? I mean, like I said, obviously it was sad seeing him die, but it just the way they went about it in the movie, properly utilizing all the like advantages that they have, it just took it to a whole new level, and that's something to be applauded, right? The part that did me in was it was like the very last second too, bro. Because in all honesty, like I was pretty upset throughout the entire fight, man. As soon as Akaza showed up and they started going at it, I was feeling it, bro. And then when Rengoku has the first moment where he stops, right, and everything's like quiet, and you're thinking like, oh shit, like is this it? Is he out? And then he just like flames up, and oh my god, man, oh, I want to see it again. I want to see it again, man. That moment right there was, man. And the fact that I forgot, right? Because it's been a while since I read the manga. I forgot that the fight like played out like that. And who knows if it even played out like that this exactly in the manga. It might not have even played out like that. I'll have to look into it later to see if it played out like that. But having that pause and then having him just reignite and come in stronger than ever. Woo! Oh man, that was so good. So fucking good. So I was feeling it the whole time, but I was doing a good job of holding back my emotions until the very end, man. Until the very freaking end when he's on his knees and Tanjiro's on his knees and they're talking and he's giving him his final words. And at the very last moment, at the corner of his eyes, he sees his mom standing there. Bro, ugh, I'm telling you, man, I can't even speak. Yeah, man, how was it? As soon as like she showed up there, I was like, that's it. I'm done. All right, fuck it. Let's cry. Let's cry. It's time to cry. That was spot on. And I don't know. I gotta go back and see it in the manga too because I don't know if they did it like that in the manga. If they did, all right, fine. But if they didn't, that's another point towards the movie, man. Because that right there just made a world of difference as far as emotional impact of that scene right there. Oh, shit, bro. That was it. That was the part. So that obviously is the most impactful part. But in this on it and thinking about it, this might actually have been. I'm not sure if this might actually have been the first movie, not just like anime or like anime movie, the first movie in general where I cried more than once. Right? I don't think that I'm not sure if that's ever happened with anything else that I've ever watched in my life. But yeah, Mugen Train did it, man. Mugen Train did it. So obviously for Rengoku, and then the part that got me again because it got me. This was one of the few parts that got me emotionally. I think it was only this part and the part much later down the line when they explain one of the Stone Hashira's story. Oh shit! Okay, I just I was about to get worked up just thinking about that for a split second. Yeah, those were like that was another part. It was one of the few parts when while reading the manga that got me really worked up, bro. The other part was even when I read it was the part when Tanjiro was in his dream sequence, right? When he was there under the effect of the demon that took control of the train in that dream with his mom and his brothers and sisters all alive and him just living his life as if nothing had happened. Oh man, yeah, that was rough, man. And yeah, it got me when I read it, and it just the movie just didn't do any favors. No, it just didn't help at all with the with the voices. Like when they're at that moment when Tanjiro is like running away because he's already made the realization that none of it's real. But then he sees Nezuko, right? And then the whole family comes out and they're all just like standing there, and he has his back towards them, and like he knows that he can't stay there, and he starts running off, and then like his littlest brother like starts crying, and he's like, "Don't go!" And oh, fuck, shit, yep. Oh man, all right. So yeah, that tore me apart. Woo. All right, no more sad stuff. What else can we say? Um, Man, I'm so glad that it was as far as yeah, it did a great job utilizing the advantages that the medium has, right? Um, the animation, the sound, in order to make it that much more impactful and better, right? And at the same time, I'm glad that it was such a faithful adaptation and that they showed so much of what was shown in the manga, at least from what I can remember. I like especially that they showed like the dream sequences for not only Tanjiro but also Inosuke and Zenitsu, showing their dream sequences because they're freaking hilarious. So that definitely like helped, give a little comedic relief there. This arc in general is a lot more heavier on Inosuke as opposed to Zenitsu. Zenitsu really had his moment in the last arc when he went up alone against that spider demon, And this time it was time for Inosuke to shine, right? He got put out on the sideline. He did a good job putting up a fight against that big old the dad spider demon. But you know, he was pretty much put on the sidelines by Tomioka, right? Um, and this arc was really his like time to shine, and he was great. It was great to see him, and you know, just kick ass and just go in there with like his crazy like eccentric character that he is, and just going all out. And it was a lot of fun. It just added a lot of fun to the whole storyline of it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. If there is anything that I'm missing out on as far as like compare and contrast from the anime to the manga, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I've already read the manga in its entirety, so I don't, there's no worries about having anything spoiled for me. So, I'd love to hear what, yeah, more people have to think about it. Whether they, you know, whether they thought it's deserved of as much praise as I'm giving it, or if there were if there were more, if there were things about it that that are more critical of that maybe I didn't see or I didn't notice right away, but maybe you have a point. I'd love to hear about it. So yeah, go ahead and leave a comment if you enjoyed. Leave a like if you didn't enjoy. Leave a like either way because why not? I'm just kidding. Leave a dislike. Either way, it works. It's all engagement. It all counts for me. Um, and yeah. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed very much. Going and watching it and talking about it, and yeah, I love Demon Slayer, and I hope to do more content like this, talking about anime. I don't have much of it on the channel at the moment. It's mainly video game focused, but we got a Demon Slayer video game coming out later this year, so, and I'm looking to get that day one. So yeah, if that is anything that kind of even remotely interests you, go ahead and click that subscribe button as well. But other than that, I am your single player hero. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.